Hey dreamers, welcome back. Cozy up, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more bedtime stories. Drop your location and time below. Take a deep breath. And let's begin. She slipped into the rearview mirror like a whisper you only half heard, her ivory dress drifting in the wind, her eyes empty wells of sorrow. Emma glanced at the shoulder seat, her breath hitching. "You see her too, right?" she asked, voice trembling. Jack didn't answer. His knuckles on the steering wheel whitened as the dark stretch of Highway 19 yawned before them. At 2:37 a.m., the moon hid behind ragged clouds, and the endless ribbon of asphalt felt more like a trap. They'd been married 24 hours. Their honeymoon drive from New Orleans to Savannah was supposed to be their first adventure. A chance to escape the city buzz, to feel the world slow down around them. Instead, they felt endless miles of emptiness, and something else, something watching. "Jack," Emma whispered. "She's right there." Through the crack in the windshield's frost, a figure stood at the edge of the road, a young woman in a torn wedding gown, cheeks smeared with dirt and streaked tears. Her white veil, shredded and stained, fluttered like gauzy wings. Traffic was sparse this late, but the sight knotted Jack's stomach. He slowed the car. "She looks hurt." Emma's hand hovered over the door handle. "We can't leave her." Jack inhaled, exhaled. "Okay, but keep calm." He swung onto the shoulder and rolled to a near stop. The engine's hum dropped to a low growl. Emma grabbed the passenger door handle, but Jack shook his head. "I'll get out." With a reluctant nod from Emma, he unbuckled, slipped into his coat, and stepped into the cold. His boots crunched on gravel. As he approached, the bride's head turned. Her hair, once blonde, clung in matted clumps. Her eyes, pale blue, held him. He felt frozen. "Miss," he said, voice curt. "Are you okay?" She raised a hand, trembling. "Please, help me." Jack reached for the door. "Come inside," he offered. She didn't move. Instead, she took one slow step toward him. He gestured at the car. "It's warm in there." Emma's voice drifted through the open window. "Jack," he turned to her. "I'll bring her around." He offered the bride his hand. She placed her bone-thin fingers in his. The instant their skin touched, Jack felt a cold fire bite into his marrow. Her palm was ice, slipping from his grasp. He staggered, tearing his hand free, and she drifted back a pace. "No," she whispered, hair trailing across her face. "Stay with me." Jack's heart pounded. He shook his head. "Let's get you warmed up." "Please." She closed her eyes. The air pressed in. Jack hurried back, opened the passenger door, and turned. She was gone. He blinked. The roadside was empty. No pale gown, no veil. Only silence. Emma leaned forward, pale. "Jack, what happened?" He closed the car door with a jolt. She disappeared. Emma frowned. Disappeared? Together they peered into the dark. The only sound, crickets and the soft hum of the engine. Emma's breath came in shallow bursts. Maybe she went back into the woods? Jack swallowed. "Let's just keep moving." He fired up the engine. As they pulled back onto the highway, Emma's eyes darted toward the woods. Was she even real? Jack drove on, guilt tangling with confusion. Who could vanish like that? He told himself they'd imagined it, exhaustion playing tricks. Emma nodded numbly, and they fell silent. An hour later, Emma slept in the passenger seat. Jack's gaze kept straying to the rearview mirror. The moon had cleared, and the road stretched under a vault of stars. No other cars. No souls. The air on his right side seemed thicker, colder. He reached over and shook Emma's shoulder. She stirred, blinking. "Jack?" "In Savannah," he said. "Good." She snuggled back. "Get some rest. I'll drive next." He smiled faintly. "Thanks." She slid behind the wheel. Jack curled in the seat and dozed. Moments later, he awakened to Emma's shout. "Jack! Look!" Heart in throat, he blinked awake. Ahead, a shape stepped onto the yellow lines. Jack's breath caught. It was her again, the bride. She stood as if waiting. Her gown glowed pale in the headlights, veil fanning out behind. Emma slammed the brakes. The car skidded, tires screeching. They stopped feet from her. Emma yanked at the door. "No, Jack." "Don't." Jack ignored her. He flung his door open, the cold night swallowing him. Emma called his name, but he sprinted forward. As he neared, the bride lifted her head and smiled, a slow, terrible curve of lips that revealed 2 perfect teeth. "Emma," Jack gasped. "Help me." Emma tore open her door and followed. The night was still. No breeze. Jack reached out, bursting with desperate hope. The bride tilted her head. "I'm already here," she said, voice like glass cracking. Then she stepped back, and Jack stumbled, arms closing on nothing. She vanished again, dissolving into the darkness like smoke. Emma grabbed his arm. "Jack, stop!" He swayed. "She's gone." Bile rose in his throat. For a moment, in the mist by the roadside, he thought he saw her silhouette, head hanging, veil dragging in rot. He blinked. Nothing. Emma guided him back to the car. They slammed the doors closed. She locked them with shaking fingers. Jack's heart pounded. "What is this?" Emma whispered, tears glistening. "I don't know," Jack said. "But something's wrong." They didn't speak for miles. The hum of the engine felt loud. Emma wiped her eyes. "We should turn back. Head home." Jack swallowed again. "No." "We're almost there." "Almost to what?" She shot back. "Savannah?" "The same place she came from?" Jack's grip tightened. "We'll find a motel, sleep. In daylight we can find someone, help her." Emma stared at him, incredulous. "We can't help her, Jack. She's something else." He exhaled sharply. "I know." They drove on. They arrived at the Whispering Oaks Motel at 4:12 a.m. The neon sign flickered, casting a sickly glow over chipped pavement. The office window was dark. A bell lay on the counter. Emma nudged Jack. He climbed the steps and rang the bell. The chime echoed. Footsteps above. An old woman in an apron opened a shabby door. Her face, lined and pale, regarded them. "You folks lost?" Emma swallowed. "We need a room." The woman nodded, took cash through a slot. "Room 9. Upstairs, last door." Jack and Emma trudged up creaking stairs. Room 9's door creaked as they entered. The air smelled of mold and stale cigarettes. Jack flicked on a lamp. It buzzed but shone. Emma sat on the bed. "Let's just get some sleep." Jack nodded, but his gaze kept flicking to the window. Outside, the empty parking lot lay bathed in neon. No sign of the bride. They settled under the thin blankets. Jack's wristwatch ticked. At 4:37 a.m., Emma's phone buzzed. She checked it, brows furrowed. "What is it?" Her voice shook. "It's Twitter." There's a thread. People posting pictures from different parts of the country, roadside wedding wrecks, accidents. And each one, someone's in a wedding dress. She slid the phone toward Jack. He scrolled through images, a discarded bouquet by a guardrail, tire marks through white fabric drenched in blood, a bride's shoe abandoned in tall grass, a veil snagged on a signpost. Each scene had a timestamp, 2:30 a.m., 2:45 a.m., 3 a.m. And in comments, "Did anyone help her? I saw a ghost bride on my drive last night." This is the 4th disappearance this month. Jack's blood ran cold. "She's not alone." Emma whispered, "They say the bride vanishes the moment you try to touch her." Jack closed his eyes. "We tried to help." Emma's shoulders shook. And she vanished. They lay back, wide awake. The air felt thick, pregnant. Nothing moved. Then rap. Rap-rap-rap on the window. Jack bolted upright. Emma shrieked. They stared at the glass. A pale hand, just fingertips, tapped on the pane, tracing a finger down the frost. Jack leapt from the bed. He yanked the curtain. Outside, on the balcony railing, the bride stood, staring in. Her eyes were hollow, dark rings. No tears, just emptiness. Her mouth moved, inaudible. Jack stumbled back. Emma grabbed his arm. "She wants in," Emma sobbed. Jack yanked at the handle. It was locked. "God, please." He spun and punched at the lock. It clicked. The window screeched open. Emma screamed. The bride's face invaded the room. A white ghost thrust forward, mouth opening with a silent wail. Jack snatched Emma and shoved her away. He slammed the window shut. Emma slammed it locked. They huddled in the corner, trembling. The window rattled as something pounded on the metal railing. Then silence. They sat for long minutes. Finally, Emma dared. "We have to get out of here." Jack nodded. He scooped up their bags. They crept to the door, ears straining. The hallway was silent. They slipped out, hearts pounding, and raced down the stairs. Outside, the parking lot lay empty. Their car was gone. Emma lurched and looked around. "What?" Jack's eyes widened. Next to the bus stop sign stood a rusted Impala, their rental. But its windows were clouded. They ran to it. Jack tore open the door. Nothing but empty seats. In the back, a tangle of white fabric. He plunged inside. It was the bride's gown, blood-stained, decayed. The lace clung to the seat. Jack gagged, scrambling back. Emma cried out as something slammed into them. They fell against the car. Turning, they saw the bride hovering inches away, feet not touching the ground, gown swirling like spilled milk. "You left me," she said, voice echoing. Jack whispered, "We tried." Her eyes flared. "Alone." She swept her arm, and the world tilted. Jack felt himself pulled toward her, a fierce magnet. Emma screamed, but Jack's hands reached out. Then Emma grabbed his collar and yanked him back. "No!" she roared. He snapped out of it. Jack grabbed Emma's hand. They ran, no thought, just flight. They didn't stop until they reached Highway 21, 20 miles away by sunrise. The sky bloomed violet and gold. The bride was gone. Jack skidded to a halt at the Welcome to Savannah sign. They tumbled from the car, breathless. Emma sank to her knees, swallowing sobs. Jack held her. Morning birds chirped. Sunlight glinted on dew-soaked grass. In the distance, the highway stretched on, empty. Emma looked up at Jack, eyes red but determined. "We'll find her," she said softly. "We'll help her finish her journey." Jack nodded. "We will." Hand in hand, they stepped onto Highway 21, heading into the haze of dawn. Behind them, the road lay empty save for a single wedding shoe propped on the ridge, a silent invitation. And somewhere, the vanishing bride waited.